Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you are doing exceptionally well, and I'm sending you lots of love and healing and just like happiness for you today, or whenever you find this, okay? And I pray that it finds the people it's meant to at the time it's meant to, so I trust. Okay. Today's message isn't going to be long, it's going to be simple. It's just going to be a sort of reinforcement to some of you, or maybe it's going to be a piece of wisdom for some of you. I hope that either way it reaches you. So sometimes in life we can hear things, or we can see memes on Instagram or a video or something on social media, and we can understand the words of what the person is saying and we can resonate with them. But sometimes it takes lived experience or life circumstances or healing and what's the word I want to use? Integrating, thank you. Integrating that experience into our body as well, that we actually let it land and we really actually understand what it means. Because sometimes we go through multiple different life experiences with different people, maybe in different parts of our lives, relationships, romance, family, career, business, life, home, fitness, whatever. And it might take us a couple of goes to let it land or to make a different choice. So the integration part is really, really important to receive. Like when you receive a download or when you look at a piece of incredible wisdom or knowledge, the integration part is really, really important. And that is from as above, so below. So that is like in your spirit, and in your body as well, being grounded down into your body so that you can integrate that and feel that, to embody that and to understand it. And we're always growing and learning and understanding things more and more as time goes on, as we intentionally choose to heal and evolve and ascend, whatever word you resonate with. I think I've done a video on this before, but you've all heard this. I'm sure you've all heard this term where it is, and I've learned this the very, very, very hard way in life multiple times too, not just once. Yes, that's right, that's me. No one comes before God. So what I mean by that is, God wants you to build your home, your internal home, your light, the light within, your emotional home, your spiritual home, your soul and your heart and your inner world, with Him. And not look for it outside of yourself with anything, whether it's like how another person loves you or doesn't, validation from other people through material, money, whatever it is. So alignment is key to everything happening for you. And I'm not saying it's going to instantly happen, but what I'm saying is God wants to be put first above all else. Now, before you all say what if, it hasn't? Yes, if you've got a divine husband or wife, then yes, obviously, they are up there as well. But what I'm saying is your emotional home, or kids, you must build your emotional home first and foremost within yourself, with God, or whatever it is you believe in. So spirit, the divine, the light, your purpose, your mission, Mother Earth, whatever it is that you align to in terms of what that means for you, that's what I'm talking about. Because you cannot And even if you're deeply in love with somebody, or whatever the case is, or you've got a business going and it's going well right now, or whatever the case is, you cannot control another person. We all have free will and free choice. So just remember that. People can change their mind at any time. People are unpredictable, and things change, things happen, life happens, circumstances happen, people break up, businesses fail or are rerouted, or jobs don't work out, or like your best friend that you've had for 20 years, you no longer resonate with them, or the home you thought you was going to be your forever home isn't. You've been called elsewhere, or whatever the case is. You must build your emotional home within yourself and with God first and foremost, so that whatever happens in life, in any way, you are like stable and rooted in yourself and in your own like self-value, self-love, self-confidence and alignment and truth and all of that. Now, I'm not saying that you don't change, you don't grow, you don't evolve. I'm saying that it's got to be built within you first. And I was like, how am I gonna, because I've done this. Like, there's a song called Landslide by the Dixie Chicks, or the Dixie, I think they've changed their name, maybe the Dixie, I don't know, something else, but whatever. And I think it may have also been covered by Fleetwood Mac, but it's called Landslide. It's a famous song. And when I was sort of going through all of this over 18 months ago, like the main part of it, I kept hearing that song Landslide, and it says something like, I've been afraid of changing because I built my life around you. And she's talking about how when it all basically fell apart, like her entire life just came crashing down like a landslide and just took everything with it in its path. That's what happened to me, okay? So, and again, that person was not right for me, because if the person is right for you, that won't happen. So please don't start freaking out if you're in a happy relationship or whatever the case is. Please don't start like going into a meltdown that, it's going to happen to you. People who are meant to stay will stay and weather storms. People who are not, that will happen. And if you build your home in somebody else and not you, the chances are God is going to rip that away from you until you build your home within yourself, first and foremost, especially if you've got a big mission here, or anyone basically. And I was like, how can I give an example? And for those of you who have ever watched the Twilight series, and if you haven't, then that's totally fine, I'll just explain it. The main characters, Isabella, or Bella, Edward, and Jacob, are kind of in this love triangle thing for a fair bit of the movie, a fair bit of the series. And when Edward leaves, because he has his own issues about how he feels like he's stealing Bella's soul and like what he is, and he's grappling with the fact that he's a vampire and what he's done, and he's not coping within himself. And it's not even about Bella, but he leaves because he thinks that it's what's best for her, and that he's basically, if he stays with her, he's going to ruin her life and steal her soul. So everything that happens, like he leaves her because of his own stuff that he's working through, but she takes it personally that she's not good enough for him, and basically she spirals into like complete and utter despair. She becomes numb, depressed. She doesn't go out, she doesn't really move, she just sort of sits there and stares out the window. And they show you kind of like a time lapse over like a couple of months of her doing that. And basically she's just sort of frozen in time, in his memory, and she's not doing anything for herself. She's not like eating, she's not exercising, she's not going out with friends. She's like basically become like a complete shell of herself and her, like they show you it's pretty dramatic. But what then happens is Jacob, who has always loved her or been really interested in her, they start to become friends because Edward is no longer around, because those two were like frenemies. And so with Edward gone, she's not in love with Jacob, but she uses him kind of as an energetic crutch per se, because they become best friends, and she kind of leans on him a lot to like make herself feel better and make herself feel more alive. I think she says that she's like, when Jacob's around, I feel less like in pain. And you know, he like becomes in love with her and sort of infatuated with her a bit, and he like wants to actually have a relationship with her, but she doesn't. She wants to stay really close friends, and she just wants to have that, but he doesn't. And so there's like a kind of like a clash there, of misaligned like intentions basically, because she's actually still in love with Edward and she hasn't healed at all, and she hasn't forgotten about Edward, but he's not around. So anyway, she starts to get a little bit better, but then what happens is, and Jacob promises her, you know, I'll never hurt you, I'll never do what he did to you, I'll never leave you, I'll never abandon you, blah, 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 blah. We've all heard it. And then what happens is, completely unexpectedly, Jacob starts going through his own, like, basically dark night of the soul and transformation, because he's actually a werewolf. I know, guys, but, you know, he's actually a werewolf. So he's grappling inside of him with the changes in his body, the changes in his anger, his moods, like his diet, what's happening to him. He's going through his own confusion and illusion and physical, mental, emotional, spiritual changes that he's feeling out of control with. So he then turns his back on her per se, because he can't pour into her, because he's like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on to him, and why, like, you know, why it's all happening. And he's got telepathy with the other wolves, and he's like, you know, hearing their voices all the time, and he's like freaked out, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm getting at is, you must build your emotional home within yourself or within God, and only that. Because whether you love someone to the ends of the earth, or they leave, or then you've got a bit, like, anything can change for anyone at any time. And so we have to learn to move with the ebbs and flows of life. We can't control other people, and if we do try and control other people and grip onto them when they're going through their own stuff and try and make them feel guilty for how we're feeling, it's never going to end well. And then that becomes codependency and like toxic patterns and behaviors and dysfunction. So we have to surrender to God and build our home within ourselves, so that no matter what happens, we are always going to be the temple and okay within ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean you won't find your true love or have beautiful children or beautiful friendships or soul tribe or a family of your dreams. What I'm saying is it comes from within you first, and then the overflow goes outward. And then that's also how we serve our mission and gifts and talents and help other people as well. But it must come from within us first. Now, I know that, like, that's an obvious thing to say, but until you've experienced it maybe more than once, and let it integrate in your body and land in your body, and you make the right choices next time and embody that, it's just words. So healing, choosing better choices, choosing better thoughts for yourself, better lifestyle, better whatever, is key to achieving that. And it is a daily thing and a conscious choice. It's not like you just, you know, make the choice and then that's it. It's a daily conscious practice to be devoted to yourself, being better every day, to be devoted to God or the earth or your path, whatever it is. It's a daily conscious choice that will always continue. So, yes, that's what I wanted to say. You must build your home within yourself. I'm going to pull one of these cards. I am holding my baby, so I'm not going to shuffle off slightly off camera like I do, because I'm holding her head and she's asleep. So I just don't want to disrupt her. I'm just going to ask for the right affirmation, abundance card to come out for us. From the top, please. And thank you. Yeah. I am an infinite soul tapped into the eternal force of good fortune. As within, so without. So I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love wherever you are, healing frequencies, peace, calm, and inner love, light, stability, equilibrium, and balance. Bye.